listening to Diminishing Returns, the podcast about sequels, prequels, spin-offs, and reboots. I'm Chris Scott. And across from me, he's the ginger motherfucker who I don't want to shut his mouth. I want to hear him talk, because otherwise this would be a weird podcast. It's Mr. Alan Johnson.
How do pod people?
I'm pretty sure I've used a terrible Shaft reference in one of these before, but let me be clear, I will reuse content because I'm lazy. So this is another one of our re-bonuses in between the episodes where instead of focusing on a particular film franchise, we will talk about news, trailers, and frankly, whatever the fuck we want. So Alan, are we starting with our traditional news segment?
Yeah, just a wee bit. There was only really one news story trawling about to try and find like a big news story, and various news outlets like Forbes, Variety and Business Insider,
The three big ones,
all have big pieces about how there's a sort of slump in franchise box office. The summer slump has set in early for franchise cinema. Are we suffering franchise fatigue? This is spun on by Dark Phoenix and Men in Black International in particular, doing pretty rubbish business at the box office.
Yeah, you're right, because there's been no other huge franchise events this year that have made crazy bank. You're absolutely right. Well, what a real slump it is. It seems that this slump seems to have somehow miraculously coincided with two shitty films that no one cared about. No one asked for these fucking films. They released them and nobody went to see them. Of course not. It's nobody was clamouring to tell the same X-Men story you told fucking 3 films ago, right? With the same team that made an absolute rip-roaring cunt of Apocalypse. Nobody was like, oh fuck, can't wait to see that reimagining. I've not seen the X-Men one yet. I'll probably try and see it. You know, I'm an X-Men fan. Mm-hmm. I have a fucking podcast about sequels, and I'm like, I'll get to it. I'll get to it when I'm not busy, and I'm always busy. You know why? Because ladies love Cool Chris. You know, and then what was the other one? Fucking Men in Black. See, I'd already forgotten about that film, and you mentioned it a minute ago. Who in the world was looking for a new Men in Black film? Anyone? No, not one motherfucker on this cursed earth has went to, oh man, do you know what would be really good? You know if they made a sequel to Men in Black? No, not the shit sequel that came out after Men in Black 2, and not the other shitty sequel that came out of that, Men in Black 3. I think the fourth one, that's where this franchise is really going to pick up speed. Franchise fatigue. It's shitty bad films no one asked for fatigue.
Well, I agree. Yeah, they're comparing to last summer, which saw record numbers for films like Jurassic Park, Fallen Kingdom, Mission Impossible Fallout, Deadpool 2, among
films
others.
That people all wanted to see.
Yeah, films that are already part of working franchises.
Yeah.
It's not all bad, of course. As you alluded to, Avengers has broken multiple box office records, although still can't topple Avatar as the most successful film of all time.
Wow, but to be fair, it's because Avatar is the greatest film ever made. It's the Citizen Kane of weird blue people having sex with their hair. Again, I don't know if people have not made enough of how in Avatar, like, yes, their hair had sex with each other.
That's like, really bizarre. But then it is a weird thing about Avatar generally that people in pop culture don't reference it. I mean,
Though, to be fair, it was hot as fuck. When they bumped hair, I was all like, oh my god. Oh god, I'm in a cinema. I was just wanting to whip it out and jerk off to this hair. And they're showing you fucking weirdo Cameron. The fuck you doing, Jim Cameron?
You know, and also John Wick Chapter 3 Parabellum. It saw the best box office returns of the series so far. It's taken almost 300 million at the box office.
Yeah, it's almost as if, and again, we're on pretty sticky ground here. It's almost as if these publications were desperate for something to talk about films.
Yeah, it's really nice when people like Forbes, who are interested predominantly in fiscal and business matters, enter into the arena of writing about.
See, to be fair,
arts.
Forbes do lots of actually pretty good pop culture stuff, finance and movies and shit. It's weird. And also, I read it all every month because I am, to be clear, a rich gentleman. I'm trying to think, what yacht will I buy? I don't know. I'll just buy them all. But I like to do my due diligence. That's why I read Forbes, Millionaires Monthly. So that's a big one. You probably couldn't afford it, Al. They only get subscriptions to very important people. It's a big one. And I also get a subscription to Uncut, just because I like to see what's happening in Out Country. Just a big fan of Out Country. All millionaires are fans of Out Country. Bill Gates, big fan of Wilco. Steve Jobs.
Yeah,
he was more of a Jason and the Scorchers man back in the day.
Okay. How does George Soros feel about the Beachwood Sparks?
Oh, Big fan. You know what? He actually pays actors to go to their shows. Some nice deep cut alt country references, guys.
So there we have it. People are worried that there's been a bit of a slump on franchise cinema, and the summer is looking like a bit of a barren box office. But you know, we've got Toy Story 4, Spider-Man Far From Home, Child's Play, and Hobbs and Shaw coming up. So
yeah, I think out of those Child's Play might not be the hit that you think it is, but yeah, the rest of them are probably going to do all right.
Child's Play is, you know, it's kind of interesting because we've got this reboot on the way, plus also there's a TV show that is being made, so there's really weird stuff going on.
Oh wow, so we're going to get like two Child's Play projects. What a world we live in, huh?
You're spoiled for Child's Play choice. Are you going to go towards Brad Dourif or Mark Hamill? That's
hey, I'll tell you right now, Brad Dourif all the way, and I love Mark Hamill. Mark Hamill was not in Deadwood.
He is not.
So Dourif for the win.
I'm gonna guess more on that later.
Yeah. Pretty much, lots of stuff I'm going to recommend or talk about has already been mentioned on this podcast. So it's now time for our favourite section. The nation's favourite section. As of course, trailer talk. Bum bum bum. I don't know, like that didn't gel as well as usual. Maybe this is us going to a new atonal jazz stage. Maybe this is Radiohead's Kid A of our trailer talk theme, or maybe this is the first sign of like a huge breakup coming. Who knows? But you know, we're going to do. What do you want to talk about first?
We made reference to this trailer on our last bonus episode because it was premiered at Cannes, and so now here we have Rambo: Last Blood. Damn. The legend comes home.
As we've discussed, never seen a Rambo film. I think we are going to have to end up doing them.
Yes, I think the release of Rambo might.
That'll push us into it.
From that perspective, I'm very interested. You haven't seen any Rambo film. You're obviously aware of Rambo.
I've heard of the guy.
yeah,
you know, you hear the legend of John Rambo. But yeah, and like, you know, people putting their ties around their heads and going, when I was a kid, it was a very big thing. And I was like, I get that reference. It's Rambo. I get him. I'm aware of him as a cultural icon, but I think I've seen maybe 30 seconds of film, if that. Right?
Okay. Have you seen Son of Rambo?
Oh, is that the film about the kids remaking Rambo?
Yes.
No, I've heard that's quite charming.
Brilliant. Very good. Yes.
So I had I have no expectation. I've no context as such really for the character. I've not been thinking about a sequel. I'm not like a sequel inherently is a great idea or a bad idea. I don't know if they wrapped it all up in the last one. I don't know. I don't know anything. What I do know is that this trailer looked fucking cool. This trailer, I'm like, wait, have I been missing out on some fucking badass cool shit? Because I'll tell you right now, for a start, he's out in the porch. Oh, he's an old man. Old Rambo's just an old man out in the porch. What's going to happen next? Oh, how's about him, like, evidently standing on, like, I think it was a rooftop surrounded by fucking gangbangers or fucking cartels.
I think it's Mexican cartel.
Yeah. And then next thing you know, there's homemade traps, there's fucking explosions, and there's him taking out a knife when he's about to do some goddamn killing. I was like, yeah, old man. This looks fucking great. Everything about this looks balls out awesome. Yeah, Rambo me up. Sign me up.
Yeah. It's Stallone as Rambo facing off against the cartel in the style of Home Alone. He's just rigging the Rambo ranch with various traps and spiky things and explodey stuff.
It looked fucking cool. So I'm all for it. So I guess we need to do these so I can watch them all.
You can get up to speed.
I don't want to miss out on any plot subtleties on this.
I agree. I was very skeptical at the notion of this, but this trailer and going on this trailer alone made this look brilliant.
Yeah.
I mean, I think you could really just watch First Blood and Last Blood and have had a great time. I really hope that. Let's send the character off.
Let's have him have a lovely, lovely time just murdering swathes of cartel dudes.
Why not?
It's why I would have wanted. So yeah, so we're both in for Rambo.
Yeah.
Let's do it. I'm a big fan. What do you want to talk about next, Al?
Well, I am concerned with the rise of anti-vaxxers, and it looks like it's made it all the way to Hollywood in Gerard Butler's face because I think he might have the mumps in Angel Has Fallen, the third in the Fallen trilogy.
Yeah, there was the first one, which was Denzel Washington fighting a demon.
That's right.
That
A
went from
body hopping demon.
which is a film that nobody remembers. And yeah, I remember being fucking cool.
Yeah, they sing that Rolling Stones song
Time on my
through.
side. Yeah. And John Goodman's in it. Right, hold on. Let's just Gerard Butler, go fuck yourself for a second. How good
Gerard
is
Butler, take a seat.
How good is Fallen with Denzel Washington? I remember it being good, groovy B-movie fun.
Well, do you know what? Before I saw that film, I read a book that pretty much had the same plot, so I spoiled it for myself at the time. But I've watched it more recently, and it's great.
Yeah.
It's a really great, like 90s weird, spooky noir film.
Yeah, which I love that sort of shit. I love that kind of spooky noir stuff. And also, I think it's important there to realise the lesson of that story is don't read books. It's good. So, so we're talking about Angels Fallen. You're talking about the mumps just because of Gerard Butler's weird face.
Yes.
We've discussed this a lot now. Part of me does worry that he does generally have something up with him. And we're just being the worst people in the world. So, caveat, I hope there's nothing up with him and he's just got a mad face. I don't know if I can talk about other people having mad bloated faces. I look like Gerard Butler's corpse. But even if I was Gerard Butler's corpse, I'd probably have more sense than the star in this film.
And a better American accent.
Oh my lord. Gerard Butler's American accent, I mean, it's the only thing that's worse than his face. Caveat, unless there's something really wrong with it, in which case, dear Lord, I'm really sorry. Because I actually don't, you know what, and I'll be honest, I'm not a big fan of making fun of people about how they look, if it's something they can't help. Like, if you dress stupidly, we can rip the absolute arse out of you. And I think it's because I personally have never had to deal with that myself, because I'm a beautiful 10 out of 10 knockout. So I feel it would be unbecoming of a man of my, let's just say, classical beauty, to slag off other people's looks.
Hewn from the very stone of the gods.
Absolutely right. Listen, I am a prime slab of Scottish beefcake. This is the truth. And frankly, if you are listening and you're a hot blind girl,
call back.
email me at diminishingpod@gmail.com. And if you are a hot blind chick, just let you know, sometimes muscle feels a bit like flab. I don't understand it either. So Angels Fallen, right? What was the first one?
Olympus. Olympus is a code name for the White House.
But then what was the second one?
London Has Fallen.
Oh, that's right.
So you're getting confused between White House Down.
Yeah. It's like, I mean, literally, who cares about any of these films?
Two Die Hard and a White House movies come out within months of each other, and there's not been a sequel to White House Down. Right. That's all I'm saying.
Okay, so London Has Fallen was the last one.
Yes.
And now we've got Angel Has Fallen, right?
Yeah.
So there's a few things I want to talk about this trailer, right? Because it was so weirdly edited. See, for a minute, I thought they had a Morgan Freeman impersonator in the film. Because it was like they were trying not to show you Morgan Freeman's face. Like they were going, it was all shots from the back, and you could hear the guy's voice, like ADR or whatever, and you're going, that's definitely Morgan Freeman's voice. Or is it just somebody doing Morgan Freeman? Because they're really suspiciously not showing you like a full shot of his face for what felt like ages. But actually, it is Morgan Freeman.
Yes, which turns out, likes fishing on a lake on cold days, and likes
evidently in real life likes getting paychecks. Good. I would do the same. Like just turn up to do this terrible film. However,
good for him. Have you seen the first two Fallens?
No.
Okay, so
I told you when the trailer for the second one, London's Fallen, which looked horrendous, like we talked about here, like the CGI looked terrible, just everything about it looked so shitty. The trailer finished, and you could just like the whole cinema was just like, ugh. All right. And then it sort of died down, and my mate Andy just like turned around and whispered to me, "You're gonna have to see that for the podcast at some point." And I was like, "Oh, you fucker!"
I've seen 1.5 of these previous films, and the first one is hilariously bad, but like hilariously bad in all the best ways.
Okay,
like
so we are gonna have to do it. Damn it.
Morgan Freeman previously in this franchise was just a vice president. There's obviously been an electoral race at some point within the continuity.
Excellent.
Morgan Freeman is now president.
So basically, the plot of this is that there's an attack on the president, and Gerard
attempted
Butler
assassination, by drone.
But Gerard Butler has been framed that he was behind it, right? And we obviously know he's not. And so obviously it's like, oh, it's a big news thing. And you hear this like news report or whatever. The president's top guardian angel has fallen. What? No fucking news report would use that phrase.
I know. Name me any Secret Service agent ever.
Yeah.
Code names,
Yeah,
anything?
no, of course not. That's the whole point of a secret service. You know, fucking, do you know what I mean? Like, the whole fucking part of it. And it was just to get this shitty line into this film. That annoyed me to no end. However, I'm not going to lie, out of all of the three of them, this looks like the most fun.
Is that because he retreats into the woods and he's on the run, goes to the woods and finds some hairy old guy that's played by Nick Nolte and turns out to be, would you Adam and Eve it, his dad?
I'm not going to say that's not a part of it. Because, yeah, that was pretty cool. But also, like, I just like films where it's, I'm being framed and, like, he has to break out from the police and he's on the run. All of this looks alright, but still some really shitty CGI in places. And also with Gerard Butler's weird line delivery and accent, and maybe that's a part of the illness that he's got. I don't know if that's, like, I really...
His career choices are down to his illness. He's had a brain injury.
Like the madness
now...
of King George. Please, please, this is going to look so bad if we fucking were right about this. Fuck it, it's entertainment. And listen, you know, frankly, by the sounds of it, we're going to watch these these films at some point. So frankly, I'm also suffering. So maybe finally, maybe this is like, you know, like the Fast and Furious films got like okay after like 4 or 5.
Right,
Maybe this is them finding their feet finally.
So you're jumping in at 3.
I'm probably still out for this, but just like compared to the first 2 trailers, this looked like it could at least be marginal fun, but I'm probably out, except for the fact that we've pretty much discussed and agreed that we're going to watch these films, at least the first 2 for this podcast. So despite being out, every time I try to get out, they put me back in. Yeah. What about you out?
Oh, I'm out.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. So it means we've only got one more trailer to talk about this week.
Yeah.
What was that you heard? Was that the funkiest thing ever? Yeah, that's right. It was me. Because we're going to talk about the new Shaft.
Yeah. Just called Shaft.
Great. Good, don't fuck around.
Original Richard Roundtree film, Shaft. You know, it had a couple of sequels, Shaft in Africa, Shaft's Big Score. And fast forward to the Samuel L. Jackson and Christian Bale in Shaft. So naturally in 2019, we round out with Shaft again.
Part of me kind of digs that, and I mean, I can dig it. You know that band The Bronx? I've named so far all their albums The Bronx.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, and so it's like, and so they're just named like for the fans is like 1, 2, 3, 4. Led Zeppelin, similar thing. The Bronx are great. Led Zeppelin are great. Shaft is great. So there we go. Apart from that Samuel L. Jackson one, I don't remember being that good. I think if I remember, it was very passable.
It sort of fell into the trap of, it's still Shaft. It's a Shaft, you know, but we've updated it for now times, and obviously it then dates very badly. Whereas this, I was really surprised. I was taken aback actually at how much I enjoyed this trailer.
This trailer was fucking balls out fun.
It really seems to have a handle on how to address, you know, the more unsavoury aspects of the Shaft films that have come before, but in a really smart and fun way, so that you get a Shaft film with 3 generations of Shaft, and also
phrasing.
And also it's played very smartly. That it's fun and very knowing. It knows what it's doing.
But also not being like, everything's a joke. Honestly. And I was like, they're making a fucking Shaft film. All right. And I'd seen a still where it was like, you know, it's Richard Roundtree, it's Samuel L. Jackson and this new guy. That's cool because fair play, you know, it's cool to have like a cool black kind of franchise hero.
Yeah.
But Shaft was of its time and blah, blah, blah. And then I watched this trailer and I was like, I am really looking forward to this film. This film looks fucking great. It looks funny. Samuel L. Jackson looks to be having an absolute blast.
Yeah.
They bring Richard Roundtree in, who is, let's be clear, a cool fucking dude.
One cool motherfucker.
And age has not withered his coolness.
No,
he
not
is
at
still
all.
fucking unbelievable. And the new guy seems to be like really funny. Like he's got like a, you know, a nice, really nice line readings in the trailer. I am from being like, all right, I guess we're gonna have an Shaft. Well, that'll be lame. I will try and see this as it comes out. If unless this trailer has done some sort of magic trick of like, there's only 3 minutes of good stuff and they've put it all in the trailer. This could be super great fun. I'm really excited about this now. This is what trailers should be.
Yeah.
It should make me excited for stuff I wasn't that excited about before.
Exactly. Was it last year we had the Superfly remake when they were trading in crypto and all of that weird stuff? I think we talked about it in here. This, for me to laugh out loud several times during a trailer, that's rare.
Yeah. So we're both in for Shaft.
You shut your mouth.
Fucking right on. So yeah, we're both in for that. So we've got Rambo, surprisingly, both in. We've got Angel Has Fallen, unsurprisingly, no. But the biggest surprise for last was there's a 2019 Shaft remake that looks fucking quality.
Crazy.
And that was, of course, Trailer Talk.
Bum, bum, bum. Was that more together? That felt like the band was back together.
I think this is our this is our album that, after our experimental album, we've come back with the stuff the fans want to hear.
We've both had solo projects.
Oh, yeah.
We've come back rejuvenated. We're both excited about it again.
Brilliant. All right, cool. We're back in the game. It's good to know. It's good to know. Let's keep up with this. We'll find out next episode if this is just like a short term thing, like New Order. Getting back together because Hookie gets sacked again, didn't he?
Out for good.
Yeah, let's do the recommendations. What don't I have to recommend? I have had, I'm just going to say it, fantastic filmic experiences. John Wick 3, Parabellum.
I barely knew him.
Lovely, lovely. Sweet Moses, what a film. What a fucking film. An absolute blast. A joy from start to finish. Just absolutely smoking motherfuckers in different ingenious ways. There's bits in this film where they're obviously like, how you've always wondered in an action film, why doesn't the guy do this? He's gonna do this! And you're like, yes! You're like, loads of deaths, loads of fucked up shit. John Wick 3 is immense.
On that note, have you seen Always Be My Maybe on Netflix?
Oh, is this the thing with
Ali Wong and Randall Park?
And Keanu Reeves makes a cameo in it. Is the film any good?
Yeah, it's a good, sweet, funny film.
Because the trailer made me want to punch myself.
Okay.
It was just a bit too kooky.
Normally with romantic comedies, you get that thing where the couple that are meant to be together have gone their separate way, or somebody's come between them, and then the movie really sags until you get to the end of the movie when they've overcome that and got back together. So this film neatly sidesteps that problem by bringing Keanu Reeves in to be the guy that makes things go off the rails a little.
You know what?
He's in as Keanu Reeves playing himself.
I've heard that he was great in it. If you're telling me the rest of the film's good, because I like the actors in it.
Great cast.
Because I've seen them in other things and I don't know. Maybe I was just in a bad mood. Maybe I don't like romance. Maybe I've been hurt too many times, Al. Maybe I just need to learn how to love watching romantic comedies on Netflix. Is that your recommendation?
No. Big thumbs up for Keanu Reeves.
He's what a man. John Wick 3, fucking immense. Obviously, as alluded to earlier, it is, I guess, a TV movie.
Yes.
But we're going to mention it because it doesn't matter what format this is in. It's greatness. The fucking Deadwood TV movie is unbelievable.
Oh my word. Listen up, hoople heads. If you're not already on the stagecoach to Deadwood, you need to get on that now.
The greatest TV show that's ever been made, in my opinion, by one of the only true geniuses of TV. I think David Milch is an absolute genius. It upsets me that people think that Aaron Sorkin is some sort of genius when there's a world where David Milch lives. Aaron Sorkin can suck my fat balls. Okay?
David Milch writing this while battling Alzheimer's, heartbreaking.
But he gets to finish his greatest work. He gets to hopefully not go out. I hope he lives as long as he can.
Oh, absolutely.
And he's a very smart man, a very interesting man. I've read a lot of interviews with him. I'm fascinated by the man's talent. It's great to be serious for a moment. Deadwood as a piece of work. The 3 seasons of TV and the finale film. It's about big themes. It's about how society comes together, coalesces, how society grows and learns to be a society. How The Wire was about the failures of American society. Deadwood was about how this society was born. It's genuinely brilliant and heady stuff, yet funny. It doesn't get lost in its themes. It's still about great characters, great dialogue. Everything about it is great, and we never thought he'd get to finish his great tale.
Never thought we'd be here speaking about this.
For it to be so good as well. I mean, it's great. There's not the beautiful kind of details that you would have had in a normal season of Deadwood, but that's the nature of the beast. But what we did get was beautiful, was brilliant. Getting to see those actors again. Timothy Olyphant is brilliant in everything, but he'll never do anything as good as Deadwood. Ian McShane, he's the guy that runs the hotel in John Wick. He's Lovejoy, and those pale in comparison to being Al Swearingen in Deadwood. It's the greatest TV show ever made. If you've watched a TV show and you're thinking, but it's been a while, you can watch a film because they guide you through it. It's my favorite, maybe my favorite thing of all time, Deadwood. But if you haven't seen any of it, watch the series. It demands your attention, but it rewards it because there's so much to love, and I actually can't wait to watch it again.
Yes. Yeah.
But yeah, that's my recommendations. What about you?
I am going to recommend a documentary that's available on YouTube. So literally everybody can see this for free.
It's about 9/11, right?
No. On YouTube, for free, you can see a documentary called Always Amazing about the life and health struggles, which doesn't sound funny, of the amazing Jonathan.
I was listening to the director on Jimmy Pardo's podcast.
Steve Byrne, the comedian, directed the movie because when he was starting out in comedy, Jonathan gave him like his first like opening slots, and at the heart of it is a documentary about the career and life of Jonathan, but it also talks about his relationship with this teenage kid who became like his road manager.
Yeah, the mentor, his mentor relationship with some kids.
It's a fascinating documentary. It's hilarious. Cool. As many people as possible should see this.
Oh, cool. That sounds interesting. And because that guy sounded quite funny and stuff when I heard him on another podcast, which frankly you should not listen to if you've not listened to ours every month. But once you've listened to ours, you are then allowed to listen to other podcasts, but only after. I also have another documentary to recommend on YouTube. It's about how jet fuel can't melt steel beams. Of course not. I'm not a moron. So Al, I mean, we've had a roller coaster ride.
We have.
You can get in touch with us on email at diminishingpod@gmail.com. You can get us on Twitter at diminishingpod. On Facebook, we are Diminishing Returns Podcast, and you can tag us and stuff at Diminishing Returns Pod. On Instagram, we are influencers at Diminishing Pod. And we've got a blog, diminishingpod.wordpress.com. We're on Spotify and all major podcast catchers or apps. But we are an independent podcast. We're just a couple of hardscrabble kids from the streets.
Well, one millionaire and a hardscrabble.
I'm a hardscrabble millionaire from the streets. And that street is Wall Street. And as like all rapacious capitalists, I would like more stuff. Mostly more listeners to this show. Again, the stats for the last few months, we've seen big jumps. It's been going great.
It's been crazy. I don't know what happened early in April this year, but for some reason, people have caught this show.
And we don't want to stop there. So please, you're listening to this. You know how good we are. Please tell your friends. Point them in the direction of the podcast. Send them a link to the specific show that you think they would dig. Put it on their phone for them if need be. Steal their phone. Steal their phone. Steal their thumbprint and then put it on their phone and then put it back, and then they'll be like, why did you steal my thumbprint? And you'll go, I know you're angry with me now, but there's two Scottish guys talking about films and stuff with a lot of swearing in it, and you're going to love that, and then you're going to forgive me, and then they will forgive you. So and in fact they'll love you for it. They'll love if you are looking to impress somebody you would like to have sex with. Steal their fingerprint and use then their phone, or their phone then their fingerprint, as long as you get them both done, and then put loads of Diminishing Returns podcast episodes on there, because we are an independent podcast and that's what we need to survive. Theft. Also rate us 5 stars wherever you get your podcast, because it helps other people find the show. Guys, as ever, me and Al have been like the White Shaft. Cool as fuck. And we'll see you next time.
It taught me this trick, which is no use for the podcast.
Oh, wow. That looks cool as fuck. I know no one can see that, but that looked great. Even though you told me it was a trick, I was like, wait, how's he done that? That's insane. Like, no, do it again. Oh my God, how's that happening? You've got no context for this. And to be clear, Alan, do not give the listener the context.
Okay.
I'm a withholding parent. Yeah, that's right. Just going to make you love me more. I think Alan might be a witch. I'm gonna burn him. This is the end of the podcast because I'm gonna burn this witch. Why does this witch keep taking me down to his basement? What kind of bullshit is he trying to pull me? What kind of black magic is happening here now?